I don't know about you all watching right now, but I am completely baffled at the fact that it is already June 16th. We are halfway through the month, well beyond the halfway mark of 2025, and things are just ripping along. On top of the time flying by, note we're also 4 days away from the calendar start of the summer season. It's felt like summer out there across Central Florida, but either way, per the calendar, we're not quite there yet. We're now on our final approach to that landing on June 20th. I want to ask for my sci fi fans out there, have you all watched that classic film, The Blob? Because that's what I'm coining what has been messing with our weather pattern out there since mid to late May. I switch you over to our surface pressure out there across the Atlantic and the eastern United States, and you can see those shades of brown, tan, sandy colors and that blue H spinning off our upper northeast coastline. That is our Atlantic high pressure, and it has been one of the most stubborn, what are called semi-permanent pressure systems to date, it feels like. Now, semi-permanent simply means it's there year-round, but it varies in terms of overall position and intensity. Sometimes it'll go back towards the east, it'll weaken, we won't really feel it. Other times, like right now, it'll stay in this Bermuda phase, really excited and just messing with everything in terms of not only our weather here in Central Florida, but up the eastern seaboard. It's been dorking a lot of things up. On the plus side, and I kind of mentioned why there's a caveat to this very enhanced high pressure ridge blanketing, just blobbing out across the Atlantic, has kept our winds ripping as well out of the east, across the Atlantic, through the Caribbean, and into the eastern Pacific. That's why it feels like the hurricane season is off to a much slower start than typically. We've grown accustomed to these hot waters producing named storms this early on in the season, whereas typically when you have a normal hurricane season, that doesn't tend to happen. So that's the plus side to this. On the negative, if you consider it a negative for my native Floridians out there, we're going to be flirting with some very hot temperatures for the foreseeable future. We're probably going to be feeling like 100 degrees out there until about October, perhaps. Obviously, it's a very blanket statement. You know, there's going to be some natural ebbing and flowing here and there, but you get the big picture. As we rock into summer, these feel like temperatures and our overall air temperatures will not be changing very much. And it's all primarily thanks to that high pressure. I want to show you something neat here as well. Take a look at this graphic. It's very colorful, very psychedelic. I used to use these types of charts back during my time in the United States Air Force when I would draw what's called our synoptic analysis. Basically, a big picture weather map with all of our cold fronts, warm fronts, low pressures, high pressures, everything. This way we kind of tailor our forecasts at the smaller scale based off what is on those charts. What we're looking at here is a difference in our air masses. The further north you go, you'll be in those cooler, drier polar air masses. The further south you get, closer to the equator, you're going to find your tropical air masses. And notice how the shades of color kind of fall off the closer you get to that blue H. You transition to more of the greens, a little bit of the light blues. But then on the western and southern flanks, wrapping around the northern half now, you've got the yellows, the oranges, and the reds. That denotes where you have your different air masses. Closer to the center, you're more dry. You're not in the full extent of that maritime tropical air. But the reason we've been so humid, afternoon thunderstorms have been kicking off right on schedule, and the feel-like temperatures are maxed out, flirting with those triple-digit temperatures, it's because we're in the favorable quadrant to receive a lot of that Caribbean, equatorial, maritime tropical air, as it's called, and it's going to be hanging out for a while. On top of that, check this out. Take this in for a second. I made a graphic comparing 30-day water temperature changes for the Gulf off our west coast and the Western Caribbean to our south. Now, on average, the entirety of the Gulf has warmed by 5 to 6 degrees Fahrenheit. We've gone from about 80 degrees even, 80 to 81 degrees Fahrenheit, to about 85 to 87 in some spots. Now, I know that sounds like, this much in comparison, but think about it. For us human beings, when we start to run a fever, it takes a nasty bug, a nasty infection to get our temperatures to rise from that 98.6 to 100, 101. If you're higher than that, then I'm hoping you're getting some help. This is a body of water equal to 600,000 square miles of surface area, and believe it or not, what is called 643 quadrillion gallons of water. I don't even want to try to do the math to figure out how many of us you can fit in the entirety of the Gulf, but that's an impressive feat to take so much water and warm it all together by 5 to 6 degrees Fahrenheit in just a month. And that goes back to that old adage, it's always a give and take with Mother Nature. Our weather's been pretty good. The tropics have been silent. A lot of folks are already voting off the hurricane season like nothing's going to happen. But inevitably, everything changes. Everything comes with a bit of a cost. And I don't know about you all, but I'm not too interested to see what happens when a couple of tropical systems find their way over those very amped up waters.